The meeting of the Committee on Justice is hereby called to order. Since our today's meeting is a continuation of the yesterday's meeting, the calling of the roll is hereby dispensed with. The Chair shall address the Committee on Justice. Today is March 4. We reconvene the Committee on Justice on our third day of official deliberations on the impeachment complaints against Vice President Sara Duterte. Sa mga kasama natin dito at sa mga nanonood, our pace is deliberate because our duty is delicate. Hindi tayo narito para magmadali. Hindi rin tayo narito para magkubli. We are here to uphold the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, calmly, carefully, courageously. When we began on March 2, 4 complaints were referred to this committee. The first was set aside, pursuant to the 1-year bar rule. The second was withdrawn. Yesterday, we focused on the third impeachment complaint endorsed by Representative Laila De Lima. Yesterday, we discussed the substance of the third impeachment complaint. The allegations are not light matters. Misuse of confidential funds, bribery, grave threats, ill-gotten wealth, grossly disproportionate to lawful income, and acts allegedly undermining constitutional order. Representative Chel Jokno pointed us to disbursement documents bearing the Vice President's signature, raising questions of direct knowledge and accountability. Representative Joel Chua highlighted sworn affidavits referenced in the complaint, including testimony about procurement irregularities and the alleged handling of public funds. Meanwhile, Representative Rufus Rodriguez raised a constitutional question. Can a vice president be impeached for acts done while concurrently serving as Secretary of Education? The response from several members was clear. Public trust is indivisible. At that point, Representative Benny Abante gave us one of the most memorable moments of the hearing. He raised 2 hands and said, in essence, one hand may act separately from the other, but there is only one brain directing both hands. Dalawang kamay, isang utak, isang opisyal, isang pananagutan. You cannot divide accountability depending on which title is convenient. The Constitution speaks to the office, not the label. We also examined statements attributed to the Vice President that some characterized as conditional or not serious. Representative Bong Sunday even suggested that certain remarks were merely a joke or might fall under imagination. And that was when Representative Janice Degamo rose. She did not speak in anger. She spoke in memory. She reminded us that before the tragic killing of her husband, Governor Roel Degamo, there were threats, conditional at first, words, but words that became real. Her message was simple and powerful. Ang banta, lalo na mula sa mataas na opisyal, ay hindi biro. Threats from high office are never just imagination. They carry weight. They create fear. They can destabilize institutions. Yes, there were references to premonition on the first day and to imagination yesterday. At one point, an example involving a public figure seen in a mall was offered to illustrate the harmlessness of imagination. I will not dwell on that illustration. I will simply say this. This committee is not a forum of fantasy. Hindi ito sinihan. Hindi ito komedya. Ito ay pagdinig sa pananagutan. Let me say this clearly. Impeachment is not about premonition. It is not about imagination. It is about constitutional accountability. At this stage, we are not deciding guilt. Hindi pa ito hatol. The question before us is narrower but crucial. Are the allegations, if assumed true for purposes of this stage, sufficient in substance to warrant further proceedings? If the accusations are speculative, we must dismiss them. If they are trivial, we must reject them. But if they raise serious constitutional questions about public funds, abuse of authority, and violations of public trust, then we must not close the door prematurely. So today, we turn to the fourth impeachment complaint, endorsed by Representative Benny Abante and D.S. Paulo Ortega. Some allegations may overlap with the third impeachment complaint. Others may reinforce it. Our task remains the same. Determine whether it meets the constitutional threshold of sufficiency in substance. So we ask, is the fourth impeachment complaint, consisting of 7 grounds or 7 articles, sufficient in substance? Do the allegations rise to the level of impeachable offenses? Do these complaints meet the constitutional threshold to move forward? And importantly, are the allegations credible enough to justify moving forward with the process? Iyan ang tungkulin natin ngayon. And by the end of our deliberations today, it is my hope that this committee will consider all the arguments from day 1 until today, from March 2 until March 4, and be prepared to vote on the sufficiency in substance of both the third and the fourth impeachment complaints. This is not about personalities. This is not about political convenience. Hindi ito laban ng kampo. Ito ay usapin ng konstitusyon. History will not ask whether this was comfortable. History will ask whether we were faithful to our oath. Kung sapat ang reklamo para umusad ang proseso, dapat natin itong ituloy. If the constitutional threshold is met, we should not be afraid to let the constitutional process move forward. Now, let us proceed, calm but firm, fair but fearless. Maraming salamat po. At this juncture, we direct our committee secretary to acknowledge the presence of the justice members, including the ex-officio members, including those who were deputized. Comsec, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would like to acknowledge the members of the Committee on Justice, Honorable Attorney Jervil Jinky Beatrix R. Luistro, Honorable Jennifer A. Lagbas, Honorable Brian Poe, Honorable Jonathan Keith T. Flores, Honorable Isabel Maria J. Zamora, Honorable Franz Vincent F. Legaspi, Honorable Loreto S. Amante, Honorable Joel R. Chua, Honorable Ernesto M. Junicio Jr., Honorable Lordan G. Suwan, Honorable Munir M. Arbison, Honorable Bienvenido M. Abante Jr., Honorable Jude A. Asidre, Honorable Rufus B. Rodriguez, Honorable Ramon Rodrigo L. Gutierrez, Honorable John Attorney J.P. Padiernos, Honorable Rene Luis M. Ko, Honorable Janet L. Garin, Honorable Francisco Paulo P. Ortega, Honorable Christopher Shin E. Gonzalez as Deputized Representative of Honorable Ronaldo V. Puno, Honorable Beverly Rose A. Di Macuha, Deputized Representative of Honorable Virginel G. Byron M.D., Honorable Raymond Democrito C. Mendoza, Honorable Ryan S. Recto, Deputized Representative of Honorable Yevgeny Vincente B. Emano, Honorable Lawrence R. Defensor, Honorable Julian Jam L. Baronda, Honorable Marlene L. Primicias Agabas, Honorable Zia Alonto Adjong, Deputized Representative of Honorable Patrick Michael D. Vargas, Honorable Ana Victoria Veloso Tuazon, Honorable Jose Bong J. Teves Jr., Honorable Munir N. Arbison Jr., Honorable Honorable J.C. M. Abalos, Deputized Representative of Honorable Marcelino C. Libanan, Honorable Percival Percy Sendanya, Honorable Antonio L. Tino, and Honorable Valfredo Arman R. D. Maguila Jr., Deputized Representative of Honorable Maria Carmen S. Zamora. That's all, Your Honor.
Before we proceed to the determination of sufficiency in substance of the fourth impeachment complaint, that is Cabrera impeachment complaint endorsed by the Honorable Abante and Honorable Ortega, we recognize the Honorable Bel Zamora.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is for the information of everyone. We are discussing or deliberating on the sufficiency and substance of the fourth impeachment complaint. As such, I remind you of Rule 3, Section 5, Determination of Sufficiency and Substance. It states here that the requirement of substance is met if there is a recital of facts constituting the offense charged and determinative of the jurisdiction of the committee. What we are looking for, Madam Chair and our dear members and colleagues, we are looking for overt acts of the respondent that will show the nexus with the impeachable offenses as stated in the Constitution. kailangan po natin makita o maipakita na ang impeachment complaint ay may overt acts o yung mga ginawa mismo ng respondent. At ito ay may koneksyon o mangangahulugan na ginawa niya ang mga impeachable offenses sa Constitution. Yun lang po, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Before we proceed, we acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Arnan Panaligan from the 1st District of Oriental Mindoro. At this juncture, we open the determination of sufficiency in substance of the 4th impeachment complaint. To begin with, we recognize the endorsers of the 4th impeachment complaint, the Honorable Benny Abante and the Honorable Paulo Ortega, to make their manifestation with respect to their position on its sufficiency in substance.
Madam Chair, may I be allowed to please give my opening
You may
remarks?
proceed, Honorable Abante.
Madam Chair, distinguished colleagues, at mga kababayan po na nanonood ngayon sa ating live streaming, the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines begins with a simple but powerful principle. Ito'y inuulit-ulit po natin to. Public office is a public trust. Na gusto ko na yung dagdagan na hindi lang po ito public trust, kundi isang sacred trust. Sapagkat hindi natin may kakaila na ito po ibigay ng Panginoon sa atin. Hindi ito yung slogan. Hindi ito dekorasyon sa ating mga dokumento. Ito ang pundasyon ng ating demokrasya. In a democracy, leaders are accountable to the people. In a democracy, no official, no matter how powerful, is above the Constitution. And that is precisely why the Constitution gave Congress the power of impeachment. Because without accountability, democracy becomes something else. Without accountability, a republic begins to resemble a kingdom, where those in power answer to no one. We are not a dictatorship, Madam Chair. We are a democracy where we believe that we must be governed by laws made by Congress. Impeachment exists so that the people, through their representatives, Madam Chair, may ask the most serious question that can be asked of a public official. Are you still worthy of the trust given to you by the Filipino people? That is the question before us today. Let me be very clear. This proceeding is not about personalities. It is not about political factions. And it is certainly not about the political ambitions of someone who will run 2 years from now. It is about her responsibilities to the nation because of the office she occupies today, Madam Chair. It is about whether the serious allegations contained in this complaint deserve the full and sober examination that the Constitution requires. The complaint endorsed before this committee presents several grounds for impeachment. Let me explain them in the simplest terms possible so that every Filipino listening can understand what is at stake. Dahil kailangan malaman ng ating mga kababayan na hindi biro ang mga akusasyon laban sa Vice Presidente. Unang-una, the issue of transparency and unexplained wealth. Our Constitution requires public officials to disclose their assets through their statements of asset, liabilities, and net worth, what we call as SALN. Now, why is this important? Because the Filipino people deserve to know that those who serve them are not secretly enriching themselves. If a public official earns a certain salary, but their wealth grows far beyond what the salary could reasonably explain, then the people have the right to ask questions. This complaint alleges that certain bank accounts, property transactions, and cash holdings were omitted or understated in the Vice President's SALN. It further raises the possibility that her accumulated wealth may be disproportionate to her legitimate income. Now, if these allegations are true, Madam Chair and my colleagues, that is not a mere clerical error. Hindi po ito biro. This is not a joke. That is what the Constitution calls culpable violation, a willful disregard of the duty of transparency. Pangalawa, the alleged misuse of public funds. The complaint cites findings from the Commission on Audit regarding the use of confidential funds under the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education. Let us put the numbers in perspective, Madam Chair. More than 612 million pesos in confidential funds were placed under the authority of the Vice President across his offices. And one particular transaction has raised serious questions. 125 million pesos allegedly encashed and liquidated within just 11 days in December of 2022. 11 days, Madam Chair. In ordinary life, if someone withdrew that much money and claimed it was all spent in just a few days without clear receipts, without verifiable pays, people would naturally ask, saan po napunta ang pera? Oh, according to the complaint, some liquidation documents contain defective receipts, unverifiable pays, and irregular documentation. These are not small accounting errors, Madam Chair. Hindi po ito biro. Again, this is not a joke. When public funds are involved, every peso belongs to the Filipino people, and when hundreds of millions are spent without clear accountability, the public has the right to demand answers. Madam Chair, that is not free money. That is not a money coming from our own personal pockets. That is the money of the Filipino people. Di ba? The public money, akin nabanggit kahapon, is also a public trust. Kaya nga ang pangatlo, betrayal of public trust. This is one of the broadest grounds for impeachment in our Constitution. It refers to conduct that may not always fit nearly into criminal statutes, but nonetheless shows gross faithlessness to the public trust. And one allegation in this complaint is deeply troubling, Madam Chair and my dear colleagues. The Vice President publicly admitted that she had spoken to someone about killing the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker should something happen to her. Later, it was said that this merely was a joke. But let us be honest, threatening the life of the head of a state is not something that can be brushed aside as humor, particularly if this was even stated by the second holder of the authority of the land. Hindi po ito biro. This is not a joke. This is not what a wife can say to the husband, papatayin kita sa loob ng kwarto. Madam Chair, when the second highest official in the land speaks of assassination, even conditionally, as said by Congresswoman Digamo, it shakes the foundation of public trust because leadership carries weight. Words from
Oy, pasaglit lang po, breaking news ha. Si Sara po kinasuhan si Ramil Madriaga sa Taguig. Inuulit ko, si Sara Duterte po kinasuhan si Ramil Madriaga sa Taguig. Akala ko ba walang kwenta lang si Ramil Madriaga? Bakit po kinasuhan sa Taguig? Nakakaduda na po talaga yan. Sara, kung wala talaga si Ramil Madriaga, pinag-aksayan mo na naman ang oras. Oh, kinasuhan po sa Taguig. Ano po ang plano? Para po hindi magamit po ang mga statement ni Ramil Madriaga. Naku po, naloloko na si Sara.
allegations of corruption and bribery. The complaint also presents evidence suggesting that public funds may have been distributed through intermediaries, including testimony from individuals who claim to have transported large sums of cash. These are also allegations of payments connected to procurement decisions. Now, whether these claims ultimately prove true is something that must be determined through evidence. But when sworn affidavits, audit findings, and documentary records raise serious questions about how public funds were handled, Congress cannot simply look away. Because the Constitution does not allow us to look away. Precisely why there is Congress in this country. It commands us to act. Now, some may ask, why impeachment? Why not leave this to the courts? The answer is simple, Madam Chair. Because impeachment is sui generis. It is unique. It stands alone. It is a unique constitutional process. Criminal courts determine guilt and punishment, but impeachment answers a different question. Is this official still fit to hold the trust of the Filipino people? That determination belongs to Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, belongs to Congress. Others will say that a previous impeachment complaint was dismissed. That is true. But that decision was based on a procedural technicality involving the one-year bar rule, not on the merits of the allegations. This complaint presents new evidence, including issues involving SALNs and unexplained wealth that have never been adjudicated. The Constitution demands that these allegations be examined. And finally, Madam Chair, my dear colleagues, some will say that this process is political. To that, I say, impeachment is indeed political in the sense that it is entrusted to elected representatives. But it is not partisan. It is political in the same way that democracy itself is political, Madam Chair, because it involves the people's right to hold their leaders accountable. Our duty here is simple. It is not to convict, it is not to condemn, but to determine whether these allegations deserve the full process that the Constitution provides. If we refuse even to examine them, we send a dangerous message that powerful officials can evade scrutiny simply by attacking the process. But if we proceed with fairness, sobriety, and respect for due process, we affirm something far more important than any political victory. We affirm that in the Philippines, the Constitution still reigns supreme, and that no not even the Vice President is above the law. Why? Because public office is both a public trust and a sacred trust. Uulitin ko po, Madam Chair, hindi po ito biro. This is not a joke. This is a solemn responsibility. And perhaps these words would also issue a warning to some of our colleagues that will make stupid analogies, Mr. Chair. I would not hesitate even to question that. Ito po, seryoso po ito. Gawin nating seryoso ang impeachment complaint na ito. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair and my dear colleagues.
Thank you, Honorable Abante.
Takot na ang mga aso, dumarating ang mga kaso. Sila ay sinusundo na, dadalhin sa tatay nila. Aray waranto, takbo na bato, takbo na bato, takbo na bato. Aray waranto, bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo. Aray waranto, takbo na bato, takbo na bato, takbo na bato. Aray waranto, bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo. Sabi ni Lord, huwag masama, pero sila ay nalalapit na silang masira. Ay nagkarma, ay nagkarma. Aray waranto, takbo na bato, takbo na bato, takbo na bato. Aray waranto, bakit na bongo, bakit na bango, bakit na bongo. Aray waranto, takbo na bato, takbo na bato, takbo na bato. Aray waranto, bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo. Utakluga, stanga-tanga, utakluga, stanga-tanga, utakluga, stanga-tanga, utakluga, stanga-tanga. 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 Agay wara. Takbo na bato, takbo na bato, takbo na bato. Aray wara. Bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo. Aray wara. Takbo na bato, takbo na bato, takbo na bato. Aray wara. Bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo, bakit na bongo. Kuduro yung betlog, tatay yung karton. Kuduro yung betlog, tatay yung karton. Kuduro yung betlog, tatay yung karton. Kuduro yung betlog, tatay yung karton.